All right, head coach, Binghamton Bearcats. Coach, thanks for having me in. Look, right off the jump, I just want to tell you how impressed I am with the facilities. I've been in a lot of rooms, some premier elite that have put a lot of money into it, some that are still struggling. That's what I like about this sport, right? There's a level playing field, and I was just talking to one of your wrestlers. Doesn't have to be, you don't have to go to one of those elite programs in order to get your goals accomplished, right? So talk to me about what you offer the student athlete here at Binghamton.
Yeah, so we offer an incredible education Division I wrestling program, right? So we have 150 different majors on campus. We have 6 different professional schools within the university. We were just named as a top 10 public university in the country. We were named by another magazine as, they call us a public Ivy League school. So you're talking University of Michigan, Virginia, Binghamton, so UNC, North Carolina, right? So when you're in that conversation with those types of schools, it goes to show people that you can come to Binghamton and get an incredible education and set yourself up for whatever you're going to do next, right? So the reality in our sport is that there's not really a professional league. There is more now than there was 15 years ago with the RTCs and there being some athletes that are staying on and competing postgraduately, but mostly people are looking for, what am I going to do next, right? I want to go to a place where I can have athletic success. I want to go to a place that cares about us as a sport and a person, and I want to make sure that I'm doing something that's going to help me be successful in life afterward. And that's what we get here. It's we have a lot of students that take a lot of different majors. We have engineers, we have business students, we have history majors, right? So we've got guys doing all sorts of different things, and we don't restrict that. It's, if you want to be an engineer, we're going to work around that schedule, right? It's a tough major. They have a very strict course schedule. If it interferes with practice, we'll work around it. We want to make sure that we're setting our guys up for future success. So when we talk to recruits and you're looking at this program, the athletics component's awesome, right? We're going to give you what you need to be successful, but at the same time, you're going to work hard in school and you're going to make sure that you're getting what you need to be successful in that as well. So I'm fortunate, I guess, to be at a place that supports that, because that's always been something that has been important to me, right? You have to realize that education is important and what you're going to do next is important. So that's one of the big sells of this place.
One of the things I love to talk about is the opportunity that wrestling brings. Like I'll cover community colleges, JUCOs, all the way up to D1, NAIA, right? So women, for example, too. The opportunities that this sport brings to those individuals, and you get to facilitate by plucking these young men out of various areas around the nation, honestly, and then give them the opportunities that they need to be successful, right? Mm-hmm. So tell me about the tools that you're big on, not wrestling technique, but what are you big on to send these young men out into the world?
Structure, right? So having a structure to your day, knowing what to anticipate, and then what are we doing outside of wrestling? And that's something we talk about a lot, and I think a lot of successful programs do, right? So you got to make sure that when you leave here and when you leave class and you're going home, you have the right priorities, right? Is my priority to get my homework done and put the right foods into my body to make sure that I'm ready for tomorrow, or is my priority to be at the frat party that's happening down the street, right? And that's something we've worked hard at here over the past 7 years since I've taken over, making sure that we've put the program in a place where I don't have to be worried about what's happening Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Right? I'm not coming in Monday morning dreading getting a report of whatever it was that happened, right? We get to focus on wrestling, and our guys have done an incredible job of making sure that they buy into that type of program and what we're trying to accomplish, right? Because this sport's hard. The weight management piece is hard. It's something that honestly no one else really deals with. So because of that, you have to live a little bit differently. You have to prepare differently. And that's really the philosophy here, is like, we're gonna take care of you like family, but you better take care of your teammates like family, and you better make sure that you're all making the right decisions together. We have a small team. We have a tight team. They all live together off campus in some different houses, but they're all pretty much right next to each other, and they're off-campus housing. They hang out together all the time. A lot of our guys that have graduated the past few years, they go on to live together. Whether it's New York City or wherever they're ending up, like they're trying to live together post-collegiately as well as they're moving into their careers, right? Which is kind of cool, right? You don't always get that, and we're fortunate being in the Northeast that there's a ton of opportunity for jobs nearby, right? I mean, New York City's 2.5 hours away, Philadelphia's 2.5 hours away, Albany, Rochester, Syracuse, Scranton, smaller city markets are close by, so tons of opportunities, and just fortunate to have guys that buy into that type of a process.
Transition that into recruiting, right? No, you're a New York guy. I'm sure you want to lock down this state. You've mentioned all those hotbeds and high population areas of incredible wrestling. Go out to the island and everything, right? You've got really everything at your back door. Let's move over to Ohio, where I'm from. Talk to that Ohio recruit and tell that Ohio recruit what he's going to get when he steps into this room.
Yeah, I'm glad to have you here, right? Because that's honestly something that we've been working on for the past five to 7 years, is how do we recruit out of New York? Everyone in New York knows about this place, right? So if I'm talking to a kid from Ohio or Pennsylvania or wherever it may be, really driving home that point of like, we are not your average run-of-the-mill state university, right? We are an elite university that's going to set you up for life. And it's not just me saying that, it's Forbes magazine saying that, it's US News and World Report saying that, it's Bloomberg saying that, right? So it's these different publications measuring that success. And that's what I would tell to these recruits, right? Like, you can come to Binghamton. We have a beautiful small city with, you get 15 minutes out of town, and if you're a fisherman, if you're a hunter, if you like hiking, that stuff's at your fingertips, right? I mean, that stuff is literally in every single direction from here. You go 15 minutes anyway, north, south, east, west, you're out, right? You're in, if you like fishing, some of the best fishing in the world on the Delaware River, just east of here. And then it's a college town, right? Binghamton exists now because of this university and the healthcare system, right? So when you're in Binghamton, you can feel that about this place. It's like everyone that lives around here has to support us, right? Because we support them, and we get good community support. That's something our administration's been working on a lot, is just driving home that community aspect. We're unbelievably fortunate to have a supportive administration. They like what we're doing with the wrestling program. We're having success nationally. We're beating some of the best guys in the country. We're beating some of the best teams in the country. So, I mean, that's the pitch, right? It's, you can get everything done here at a little bit of a smaller place, right? We don't have 40,000 students. We may not have the biggest name yet, right? But the university's working on it, and we continue to build and grow.
All of that wraps up into success from what I see. But unfortunately, we're in a sport where you're measured by wins, losses, All-American status, top of the podium type things. So from that perspective, Coach, what is it going to take for you? I mean, you've got names, you've got people that have All-American, you've got big names that have come from this school and have had success at the senior level. But what's it going to take for you to consistently get people on that podium to kind of push through?
Yeah, I mean, I think it starts with continuing to expand our recruiting pool, right? The better the guys that we're bringing in, the more success we're going to have, right? And I think that's the fight for everyone, right? We want to bring in the guys that fit what we're looking for from a personality standpoint. We've got to find the students that are ready and willing to do the work that it takes academically, and we got to bring the talent in, right? Because once the talent comes in and you all start working together, you tend to have a lot of success. And as you've looked at our team over the past several years, you've seen pockets of the team that have started to do really well. And then you look at the guys around them, and within a year or two, those guys are doing really well. And that's how it goes, right? Like, there's only so much that I can do as the coach. There's only so much our assistant coaches can do. The wrestlers have to build each other, and there's no secret to it, right? The better you are coming in, the higher output you can give right away, the better you're going to get as you go through the program. And that's really what we're looking for. We need to bring in the best guys from Ohio. We got to bring in the best guys from New York and Pennsylvania and New England and New Jersey. And so does everyone else. And that's the battle.
So let's talk about what's happening next. What do you have on the schedule? These guys are preparing for U20s, U23s coming up?
Yeah, we have one guy wrestling in the U20s that he qualified out at Vegas for the next event. So he'll be wrestling in that. Carter Bear at 79 kilos is the weight. And then we have a handful of other guys that'll be wrestling in the U23 event alongside him. So that's what's next for us. We don't have the whole team doing that. We only have the guys that want to do it. So years ago when I started here, we kind of had the whole team. Everyone's going to U23s. And a lot of our guys weren't familiar with freestyle. They didn't have a ton of interest in doing it, right? And then it becomes a motivation issue. How do you motivate somebody that doesn't really want to be doing that to do it? And we've stopped forcing it. We have guys that want to be here right now training for that event, and they're getting more out of it because they're all focused on it. So that'll be what's next for these guys, and then they're going to go home for a well-deserved break. So we have our guys here 10 and a half, maybe 11 months of the year for most of them. And the month of June is kind of their time to just like get out of here, go home, see your family, enjoy some time off. Most of them will come back for summer semester 2, which starts in July and runs into the beginning of August. So we'll have some guys working internships and jobs during that time. We'll have some guys taking classes during that time. But that's a nice period where we'll have most of the team here, and they'll be working out, lifting, wrestling, doing conditioning throughout the summer to get prepared for what we start in November.
Yeah, it's a grind, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right, Coach, I appreciate the time. What else do you have for us?
Yeah, like I said, I appreciate you being here. Binghamton is a beautiful place. We have an incredible university with a great wrestling program. And I think that anyone that watches this video, if you look into some of the things that our university offers and really dig into the data, you'll be shocked and surprised if you haven't heard of us already about some of the things that this university is doing.
Yeah. All right, Coach. Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.